Shalom, shalom. This is Officer Yazir with another edition, another episode of the Couch Captivity Created. Salakia, 1 second. Stop that in the background. All right, here we go. Another episode, right? Let's get the title up here. Let's get this banner up here. All right. Sacrificial lamb, conquering lion. Y'all saw the thumbnail, right? In fact, let me share the thumbnail. Let's see here. Let's see. Salakia. Let me make some adjustment. I got Soldier Ali Yeshai in here. I'm gonna bring you back up in a minute, King. Let me get the room situated. All right. So you see the title, right? Sacrificial lamb, conquering lion. Okay, we got to understand what that represents and what we need to prepare for, right? Because last week Sarge was given a powerful lesson on, would you rather have reparations or would you have restoration, right? What we want is restoration of our nation, Israel, right? With Yahushua returning, see his first go round, so-called first go round, right? Because we know that there's many Christophanies throughout the Bible, so we won't get into that. That's a whole nother topic, right? There's even many iterations of Yahushua, but we won't get into that today. But if you want to get into that, different iterations of Yahushua, you can look up on Sakari's channels, right? And we'll talk about that. But everybody in the Christian church seems to be familiar with, the sacrificial lamb, right? This all loving and all giving, yes, Christ had enduring love for Israel, right? But sometimes love, like how when your parents love you, like how it says in what is that? Is Hebrews chapter 6, right? What father is it that doesn't punish his child, right? I'm paraphrasing. So yes, Christ had enduring love for Israel as a sacrificial lamb, and it was written for him to come and suffer. And he did that out of his love for his people. Because in the end times, the gig is up and Christ is coming back to reclaim his throne, and every nation, every knee shall bend. And those that don't will be destroyed. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we juxtapose in here. Sacrificial lamb, conquering lion. You see, that's why Christians, they got this Joel Osteen, Caesar Borgia depiction of Christ, because they want people to believe that, everybody needs to go through some preacher or some priest, right, at some church to even get salvation. You see what I'm saying? Where salvation is already written and predetermined for a set group of people. Salvation is a promise to a set group of people. You see what I'm saying? Now, our end goal is peace on earth and harmony, right? Because when the righteous are in rule, the people rejoice. And that's how it's going to be in the end times. But we got a lot of things that need to happen before it gets there. Because there's going to be a lot of nations that will utterly refuse to bend the knee to the Israelites, the apple of the Most High's eye, right? Said the Most High said, Israel is my son, my firstborn even, right? So we're going to get into that, and we're going to show that juxtaposition and how it relates to restoration, right? As opposed to, restoration means completely restoring it back to its immaculate original state, right? Where we're above all people on the face of the earth. You see what I'm saying? That's what we need to get, that mentality, because reparations, repairing it, let's say you repair your car breaks down, right? You take it into the mechanic and he repairs it. But he only repairs what is broken on the surface, right? Because it could be other things that didn't get diagnosed. So when something gets repaired, it just get back to a state where it's functional. But if you take an old classic car and you restore it, all original, every bolt, complete chassis up restoration, right? Where you strip it down to the chassis and every bolt on there is factory and is pristine. That's restoration. That's what we want for the nation of Israel. You see what I'm saying? Not reparations. We're going to do some numbers, because Sarge touched on it a little bit in the last class as far as, what would that number be? Let's say for unforeseen reason, which we know will never happen, right? America says, you know what? We're going to give restoration or reparations to the so-called Negroes or descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. We've seen many numbers, right? But even the numbers that they give pale in comparison to what our true inheritance is. And we're going to get into that. I see some people's in the room. Let's see what kind of comments we got in here. All right. I see some of my soldiers in here. I see my beloved brother, Alton. All right. All praises, brother. Listen to you tonight on my JBL Extreme. Okay. Hey, he got that JBL speaker in there. I hear you, Alton. Do your thing, King. Hey, yeah, man. For those of y'all that don't know, man, our brother Alton, he comes to camp every week, fellowships with us, when we hang out. And this brother is a talented artist, man. One of these days, I'm going to showcase some of Alton's artwork, man. Unbelievable artist. See what I'm saying? But yeah, we're going to get into that, because Alton's working on some different publications, some illustration books, like comic type books or different illustration. Man, talented brother. Let me give that brother a shout out. All right. So I see a lot of soldiers in here. I see some of the Akwath in here. All praises. Right. Who else we got in here? Oh yeah, Sister Zamar, Shalom, princess. All praises. Shalom, mashpacha, for sure, family. All praises, right? So look, we're going to get into this thing. Let me bring my brother Ali Yeshai up here to the stage. 1 second here. Ali Yeshai, mic check, family.
Shalom.
What's good with you, man?
Just getting ready for this lesson here.
Hey, try and go a little closer to your mic or adjust your mic.
How's that?
Yeah. That's better. Right? So we're going to get into some scriptures, man. See what I'm saying? I see some people's in the room. Look, all of y'all in here, I see it, it says a certain number in here, but I only see a certain number of comments, right? What I want y'all to do, let us know you're here so we can shout you out. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to make this a interactive class. I try to, as much as I can, every time I do a class, make it interactive, right? I want to hear back from the comments so that, we can answer specific questions. See what I'm saying? Because I want to make this a dialogue with our people. So I don't want to just come on here and read you precept, and give you a lesson and don't take a breath to answer your questions. So if you're in here, give us a shout out, a quick shalom. Let us know you're in here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to recognize you, give you a shout out. But also, if you have any questions, you let us know, right? Let us know. And as y'all can see, let me reiterate the title: Sacrificial Lamb, Conquering Lion. Right? We know that's talking about two separate comings of Christ on earth. One, the sacrificial lamb, he was prophesied to come and suffer and shed his blood for his people, for Israel. The other one is that gospel, Not what they claim to be the gospel in the Christian church. I'm talking about that Isaiah 61 gospel, the day of reckoning, the day of vengeance. And we're gonna get into that, right? Let me get this first scripture. Ali Yeshai. Let's start out like this. Let's paint the picture. Let's start out with Revelation 1, right? And read for me. Pull that. Let me know when you got that pulled up, or I'll share it on the screen. And we're gonna read Revelation 1. We're gonna read verses 5 and 6. All right. Share your screen real quick here. Yeah, Revelation 1, 5 and 6. And look, family, Baba Kusha, like and share that video. The water Tamayam. There you go. Like and Shalom, James Lamb. Shalom, family. Good to have you in the house, fam. All right. Like the brother Tamayam said, hey, like and share this video, saints. Baba Kusha and the water. All right. That truly helps us with the algorithm because YouTube ain't really trying to put it out there. See what I'm saying? You got to use the power of the people to overcome this algorithm, right? So let's go. Let's get that. Let's start in the Revelation. Let's read 5 and 6. Revelation 1, 5 and 6. Let's get into that.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 5. And from Jesus Christ, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood.
Right? Let's break that down bit by bit. See what I'm saying? Let's break that down bit by bit. Right? Let's get locked in here. So take the first clause here. And from Yahushua Hamashiach, right? Who is the faithful witness. What does that mean, the faithful witness, right? That means that he is the first creation of the Most High. He witnessed, right, everything that we understand to be as existence. You see what I'm saying? He was given the authority by the Most High to create everything seen in heaven and earth, and that is his inheritance as the firstborn from the dead, meaning he's the first man to have the spirit of life, right, existing, created by the Most High, the Word, in the beginning. We can go to John 1. We can go to Genesis 1, right? But I know that the chat is pretty well versed. I see people in here that's they done heard me preach on that enough times. But if you do got any questions at any time, family, just chime in, leave a chat, leave a comment, right? It says he's a faithful witness, right? And the first begotten of the dead. Like I said, the Word, right? If we go to in Ezekiel chapter 37, where it talks about the valley of dry bones, what is it talking about? It's talking about Israelites that are void of the light. They're void of the truth. They're void of the law. They're void of this word, right? But how do you put flesh on them dry bones, and how do you breathe air into those lungs and rise up a exceedingly large army? It's through this word. It's through following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High God, having faith in the Most High and his son, Yahushua Hamashiach. See what I'm saying? And faith and works, doing this work. That's how you get breath. That's how you get life breathed into your lungs, right? Because right now, we're in the valley of the shadow of death. It's death all around us. Sin everywhere. It's people that don't even know who they are. And that's our job, is to wake them up, right? But it started with the first begotten of the dead. See what I'm saying? And it says, and the prince of the kings of the earth. The prince, meaning the principal, the chief, right? The chief person over the kings of the earth. Who are the kings of the earth? That's Israel. because we were promised that. See what I'm saying? Those of us that are of the elect, that's what we're promised. Lord willing, we be in that number, but all we could do is put in the work and have faith. And faith is a work, right? Our faith, we show our faith by our works. See what I'm saying? It says, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood. We know that's Yahushua. Let me get verse 6, right?
Verse 6, and hath made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen.
Right? This is eschatological, meaning this is depicting the end times. See what I'm saying? And he hath made us kings and priests unto God and his Father. See what I'm saying? We are kings and priests unto Christ because Christ is the prince of the kings of the earth. You see what I'm saying? And we also, just as he does, we worship the Most High God. Christ's Father is Christ, because Christ is the first begotten of the dead. So the Most High is our Heavenly Father, just like he's Christ's Heavenly Father, right? He created Christ. So that's another Christian cut of, you know, Jesus is equal to God and co-equal, all this foolishness, man. If you read the scripture with a true spiritual understanding, it's real simple. From the beginning to the end, it's about one people, one designated people, right? And then you get into Abraham, and the actual promises are dictated and notated. And then you go generations, 400 plus years later, until some of the promises are actualized, right? Well, we got our land and we ruled, you know, and we were the top nation. King David, you see what I'm saying? Undefeated, the Floyd Mayweather type record in battle. See what I'm saying? King Solomon had mad riches. See? But then there's more. There's more promises because the Most High promises us salvation. Salvation from our enemies, an end to the suffering. See what I'm saying? Forever and ever. Glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. That means so be it. Because thus said the Lord, right? Let's carry on. Let me reiterate that. Let me get Colossians. Go to Colossians 1, and we're gonna go from like 15 through 19. And let me know when you get there, Alicia. All right. We're just gonna reiterate this whole idea of, if a Christian ever tries to tell you, you know, Christ is God and it's the same, he always existed, you just got to break the foolishness. They're not reading the Bible. See what I'm saying? They're not reading the Bible. The first begotten, right? So let's get this in Colossians. It's going to go even more into detail. All right. Let's see. All right, let me share that. Salakia. There we go. Yeah, let's go from 15. We're gonna go through 19, but I'll chime in at the end of this verse. But go ahead, King.
It's the book of Colossians, chapter 1 and 15. Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature?
Let's break that down. You see what I'm saying? Let's go, Aliyah, into the interlinear. Click on tools, right? Let's look at the first word, image. All right. All right. Icon. Go ahead and break that down for me, the biblical usage of icon. And let's go back up a little bit up, just so the viewers can see the very top of it, where it shows the letter, right? I believe it's G1503. Scroll up a little more to the top, right? Oh, Salakia. This is Strong's G1504 icon. And let's get the biblical usage. Salakia, 1 second. Let me shout out one of the brothers in the house. Pop up in the building. Shalom, King. All praises. Always good to hear from you, King. Glad you can join us, man. All praises. Anytime you got a question, man, chime in, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got to get my game straight in terms of issuing out wrenches, Papa. So I'll hit you up, man. I'm gonna make sure I get you a wrench. You know what I mean? All right. So go ahead and get that for me, King.
Okay, this is the outline of biblical usage. An image, figure, or likeness.
All right, go ahead.
And an image of the things, the heavenly things.
All right, so look, already it's a likeness, a image, meaning it's not the original, right? In many ways, Christ is patterned perfectly as God intended for man to behave, right? Especially with this word and being blameless, being without sin, without guile, being perfect. But it is an image. Christ is an image, right? Go ahead with the definition.
Used of the moral likeness of renewed men to God. The image of the Son of God, into which true Christians are transformed.
Right, you gotta pick the bones out, but you already know where they're going with this. Go ahead.
God is likeness not only to the heavenly body, but also to the most holy and blessed state of mind which Christ possesses.
Right. See, look, his state of mind, even the way they try, his state of mind is holy, right? Holy means set apart, and he was without sin. You see what I'm saying? The law was written on his heart from the beginning because he is the word. See what I'm saying? That is that ultimate breath of life. And Christ is documented in history as a man that walked on this earth. But the Christian church, they try to make him into this Greco-Roman mythological character, like Clash of the Titans, where half man, half God, he can shoot up to the imaginary clouds where the gods are, and then go down to earth and walk around like a man. We know better than that. See? So go ahead. Go to B.
The image of one in whom the likeness of anyone is seen.
Right. So look, there we go. We can on our own time. Let's go back to the verse. We can read these definitions and understand what the scripture is talking about. See what I'm saying? Yeah, let's go back one more. All right, let's get back. Go back to 15, and then we're going to carry on into 16.
Okay. It's Colossians 1:15. Who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature.
The firstborn of every creature. A creature is a creation. You understand what I'm saying? It's very simple when you just pay close attention to what is written instead of rhetoric, right? This is our main objective, right? Is to wake our people up. And a lot of our people have been blinded by these doctrines that's been embedded in our psyches by these Roman Catholic European, what do you call them, missionaries, whose true intent is not to save God's people. Their true intent is to make God's people invisible to the world, to stomp us out, like Psalms 83, right? So that Israel may be no more may be known. That's their objective. Their objective is not to serve the Most High God. That's why they have these false doctrines. See what I'm saying? But when you look at it in plain and simple words, right, we know who Christ is. And if we know who Christ is, and we know the scriptures, we know prophecy, we know he's coming back as the conquering lion to smash and destroy enemies. And if you don't bow down, you will be utterly destroyed. Christian church don't get that. We need to get that. That's why we need to understand how important it is to do what the Most High God commanded us to do, and also do what Yahushua came down here and reiterated, Salakia, of what we're supposed to do. Feed the flock, bid to the marriage. You see what I'm saying? Give a couple quick shout outs, right? Break bread and build. Shalom, King. Always a pleasure to have you in the building, right? And we got a question. Let's see here. If I have an Edomite wife, would it be against the law to divorce her? And can you show me why or why not scriptural? I need this for my sheep. That's a great question, King. Let me get finished with this verse, and I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to address that for you. Because like I said, it's off topic, but I want you to have all the arsenal that you need. See what I'm saying? So hold on real quick, James Lamb, and we're going to get right back to that question. That's a good question. All right, let's finish off on 16, King.
This is verse 16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him.
Do you understand what the word is saying right there? Because the subject in the previous verse is Yahushua, right? The firstborn of every creature, God's first creation. And it says in the next one, for by him were all things created. And a Christian might say, well, Genesis 1 says God created the heavens and the earth. It's real simple if you understand Hebrew. The word God in English can be misconstrued, period, because it's a blanket term, right? There's no distinction between theos and theon. And even in the Greek, you can't read the Greek. You would see theos and theon. There's theos can be referred to as any power, right? Good, bad, or evil, right? It could refer to Yahushua. It could refer to the devil himself. It could refer to a king. It could refer to, you know what I'm saying, a powerful heathen. But Yahweh is the Most High God's name. And Yahushua is his son's name. Yahushua, he who saves, or he is salvation, right? You got to understand a little bit of the etymology, right? But if you go to Genesis 1, real quick, little sidebar. I don't want to get into a Hebrew lesson, but you just we're gonna give you, like the brother James Lamb said, hey, he looking for ammunition for the sheath, right? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Let's go to the interlinear on that, King. Let's get that word for God. God, in the modern pronunciation, Elohim, but in the Paleo Hebrew, Elohim, right? H430. Let me get the biblical usage. Biblical usage. Go ahead.
Biblical outline of biblical usage: plural, rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods.
Okay. All right. So keep in mind now, this Elohim, it didn't say Yahweh, right? Because when it says the Lord God, it says Yahweh Elohim. You see what I'm saying? It says his name. So who are these angels or divine ones? This is Christ and his host of angels doing the creation of the earth through the authority of the Most High God. Because you got to think about it like this. Go back. Matter of fact, go to the next chapter. Go to chapter 2 in Genesis. You got to think of it like this. If a building is built, right? And someone asks, well, who's the architect for that building? The architect is going to get his name put on the top of the hierarchy, right? Oh, so-and-so, Joe Schmo, he's the architect of this building. Now, did Joe Schmo go out there, Mr. Architect, did he go out there and put up frames and lay foundation, you know what I'm saying, and put up walls and floors and windows and this and that, such and such? Most likely not. What the architect did was create the blueprint. He engineered the plan. And he had the full understanding of how every bolt and screw and piece of wood and steel or whatever glass that was required for this structure. And he put these instructions down on a blueprint, and he gave quantities and position and a specific duty and use to everything. He understood the whole plan, but he handed it to someone and said, here you go, make this happen. So who he give it to? His main engineer, right? And then the engineer, what they got? They got the foremans. And the foremans got the construction men. You see, there's a hierarchy to things, right? Christians don't understand this because they don't, number one, they don't understand prophecy. And two, they try to get to the end of the book to understand the plot. You can miss a whole lot by doing that. If you're talking about Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and Paul, if that's all you know, your understanding is flawed, heavily flawed. Because look, go down to scroll down. Okay, go to 4. 2 and 4. Let's get the interlinear, right? Because we're going to show you a distinction. You even see they got their trickery with the capital Lord, and it's all kind of foolishness, but we're going to get down to the nitty gritty, right? So look, the Lord, H3068, click on that. What do we have here is what is referred to as the tetragrammaton. Yah-ha-wah-ha, Yahweh, or Yod-he, Vod-he, right? As the small hats will say it, right? Yahweh, the tetragrammaton, that's his name. It's the Most High's name. See what I'm saying? So it's easy to get things misconstrued if you don't know the basics. And that's a bit of a sidebar from the original lesson, right? Which is okay because I definitely want to deal with James Lamb's question real quick. Let me divert for a second, right? Let me pull up a scripture for this brother. Give me 1 second. All right. Okay, I think we want to go to Genesis 21. Okay, Ali Yashai, Baba Kashai, get me Genesis 21, and we're going to start around 12. Let's get to this brother's question. And I'm just going to give you a little crumbs of bread, brother, where you can, just go and find your own understanding by all means. I don't want you to take what I say and run with it. Go and find your own understanding and let the Spirit, you know what I'm saying, teach you how to deal accordingly, because I can't tell you to leave your wife, you know what I'm saying, for any general reason. You see what I'm saying? Now, if she's a heathen, you see what I'm saying, there's a slightly different understanding of how we deal with heathens, but definitely with a daughter of Zion, it's an ironclad contract. But even with a daughter of Zion, you know what I'm saying, we've got issues such as adultery, or, if you know what I'm saying, anything that's not kosher, you know what I'm saying, in terms of sexual behavior, right? So let's get this verse up. You got that? Let's bring that up.
This is Book of Genesis, chapter 21 and verse 12. And God said unto Abraham, Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman. In all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
All right. And I jumped into the middle of the story, James Lamb, because, I want you to go back and read, the entire chapter and the context, right? And read, understand this whole story, maybe even the chapter before, the chapter after. What's going on is that we know that we know that Sarah was barren for a long time and could not give Abraham a son. So Sarah gave Abraham her bondmaid, right? An Egyptian woman, Hagar. And Abraham had his first son with Hagar, a heathen woman, an Egyptian. See what I'm saying? Ishmael. But then the Most High saw fit, for Sarah to bear a seed. See what I'm saying? And Isaac was born. And this is where the promises come in. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is where the promises, that's the lineage of the promises, right? That is the predecessors leading up to Israel, Abraham and Isaac, and the fathers before them, right? Right here, the Most High said, because the Most High visited Sarah and said, man, if Ishmael is vexing Isaac, get him and his mama up out of there, right? So Sarah came back to Abraham and was like, I want him up out of here. See what I'm saying? Abraham is vexed. He's like, man, I can't just dump my son, right? So he go to the Lord and say, Lord, what's going on? And this is the Most High's reply. He said, hey, Abraham, don't sweat it. Don't let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, because it was vexing him because of his son, right? He didn't want his son to be cast away. He said, don't trip. And don't trip on that bondwoman, right? Take Sarah, listen to what Sarah said, because Isaac is the one where the seed shall be called, right? Go ahead. Go to the next one.
Verse 13, and also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed.
Right? He said, don't trip. We're going to take care of him, right? Because he's your seed. But the promises are not going to go through him. It's going to go through Isaac, through that bloodline. See what I'm saying? This is where we get Israel, Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob. See what I'm saying? And we also have a little bit of, what do you call that? Foreshadowing of this continuing theme of brotherly spats, right? Ishmael and Isaac, Jacob and Esau, Cain and Abel, right? Just a little bit of crumbs here, right? I want you to go back and get this word for yourself, right? So long story short, this is an example of the Most High saying that it's okay for you to get rid of this heathen woman, right? For something as simple as, hey, her son is vexing the son of Sarah, my other son from Sarah, and I'm not going to have that. Sarah said he got to go, right? But now, on the other hand, you see what I'm saying? You go into how we deal with the daughters of Israel, because let's go to pull up Matthew 5 for me, up. Pull up Matthew 5.
Got it.
Oh, Salakia. Get to that. It might be in 6. That's 5. Right. I think it's around 30. Pull that up for me. Let's start at 31, where the context is. 31. Right. Now here, James, here's another example of Christ telling us, because we know that Christ came to magnify the law. He didn't do away with the law. He magnified the law, right? Because he told us not only do we got to profess the law with our mouths and speak on it and dress appropriately and eat appropriately, we got to live right. We got to think right, because your mind is the birth ground, right? Your mind is the playground for whatever your actions are. So if you got ill and bad actions in your mind, at some point it's going to come out in the flesh. See what I'm saying? So Yahushua came and said, look, I know in the old times I told you, or the law told you that it's a sin to sleep with another man's wife. But let's check out what Yahushua said. Let's break this down.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5 and 31. It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement.
Right? Go ahead.
But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committeth adultery.
Right? So Yahushua specifically is talking to the Israelites here. See what I'm saying? So we can make an inference that he's talking to the children of Israel, because out of his own mouth, right? I am not come but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So he's telling Israel, look, I know back in the day, right? Back in the day, you know, you could write a bill of divorcement. See what I'm saying? But brothers is getting a little flagrant. So I need to tighten down what's going on here. And you honor your vow of marriage, right? You marry a woman, just like when Isaac went into his mother Sarah's tent and laid with Rebekah. That was it. They were married from day one. Just like when Jacob, even though he loved Rachel, and that's who he wanted, his uncle Laban, on his wedding night, had a party, got him drunk, right? He ended up sleeping with Leah, the other daughter, right? And he was like, "What's going on?" But did he divorce her? No, right? He didn't divorce her because he kept the law. He worked another 7 years to get the second daughter. Guess what? Were those Israelite women? Nope. Jacob made that decision, right? Or the Most High put it on Jacob's spirit to roll like that, because guess what? Out of those women came the 12 tribes of Israel. See what I'm saying? So it was in the Most High's plan. You see? So I don't want to dance or tap or whatever, James Lamb, but what I'm saying is we got clear examples of when it is absolutely appropriate to put your wife away, right? Namely, fornication. If she's stepping out there, you know, being an adulteress, or, you know, OnlyFans and this and that, you know, that's grounds for divorce, right? But let's say, with the example of with Isaac and Ishmael, let's say your Edomite wife's sons is out there corrupting your son from your Israelite wife. That's a different scenario. So you feel me, James Lamb? Like it's multiple layers. Like I can't give you no definitive counsel, because I don't know. Is that your only wife? Do you have children? Right? Did she step out on you? You see what I'm saying? So I just want to point you to some scriptures, and you read that, brother, and then, you know what I'm saying? Let the Most High give you that understanding. But I can point you to examples of marriage and divorce and this and that. And you know what I'm saying? You read that word and let the Most High put it on your heart what's best for you to do, right? Because there's multiple examples, right? But like you said, you need a little, you want a little ammunition for the sheath. There you go, King. You know, read through those specific. I think I went to a couple different scriptures, but read through those, right?
That's like a king. I got a precept for you.
Come on, what you got?
First, Kings. And this is the account of Solomon and
Right,
all his wives.
right. And because my point exactly is, Solomon's wives was his downfall,
Con,
right? And look, we're gonna get into another one because powerful officer Shaquai got another precept, right? Matter of
con.
fact, hold your precept real quick. Can you open another tab? Get me Deuteronomy 21, and let's start at 10. And in the meantime, let me know when you got that. But while we looking that up, all praises, awakening sister, the water princess. We much appreciate your continued support, your consistent support. Lord willing, what we do is edifying. If you have any questions anytime, sis, feel free, chime in. Right, this we do this work for you, for our people. You see what I'm saying? We appreciate you, sister Ahawatha and the water. Right, all praises to awakening sister. Look, I moderate, some of Deacon's live shows, and I'm on some of the other Sakari live shows. That sister is always in there studying and learning. All praises to that sister, daughter of Zion, right? All
Con, I
praise.
got that.
So you got that?
Con.
Let's bring that out.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, verse
Salakia,
10.
1 second. So give a shout out to the powerful officer Squad, Sakari Riverside, right? Hey, this just for you, James Lamb. He gonna give you some more ammo. Right. I'm gonna pull this up. Go ahead, King, whenever you're ready.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, and verse 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thy hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and hast a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails.
Now, hold on. Now, let's keep this in context, right? This is Deuteronomy. This is the law. Now, can we just go raiding villages right now and scooping up, I don't know what kind of heathens y'all like, but let's just say Persian girls or Elamites. You go up and scoop up a bunch of Elamites and marry them and bring them home and shave their head. Everything that is lawful is not expedient. See, because we don't have a government in place that's going to back us for that behavior, right? We can't declare war on anybody, but this is an example. You see what I'm saying? I want to give that disclaimer. This is an example of when we went to war and the spoils of war included the women. This is how we have to behave. We like that broad, we got to bring her home and shave her head and cut her nails, right? There's reasons for that. I'm saying, but I won't get into that. But here we go. Go ahead and continue.
Verse 13. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month.
You see, because this is the spoils of war. Her father and the mother and the uncle and the all the men, they done been slaughtered. See what I'm saying? They gone. But you got to take her home, shave her head, get her out them old raggedy clothes, right? And she got to sit there and mourn for a month. Go ahead.
And after that, thou shalt go in unto her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife.
Once you hit it, you're married, right? And thou shalt go in unto her. That means I don't need it's. I don't think this is a children's show, but I'll spare you with the vulgarity. But it's basically talking about hitting it, and then she's your wife from that point on. They don't talk about no ceremony, right? Just like I mentioned earlier with Isaac and Rebecca. He went into his mother Sarah's tent, did what he had to do, and she came out as wife. It wasn't no wedding ceremony. Ceremonies are something that we did do customarily, but that wasn't the marriage. See what I'm saying? But go ahead.
And verse 14, and it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will. But thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her.
Right? So you have humbled her, meaning you know what I'm saying? You went in unto her. So now you can't pimp her out. You know what I'm saying? Even though she's a heathen, you can't sell her off, right? Because you laid with that woman. See what I'm saying? But it's saying, and it shall be fine if you have no delight in her, meaning if you just tired of her, if y'all ain't compatible for some reason, then you should let her go. Whether she, you know what I'm saying? Whether she will. That means, hey, you can go wherever you want to go. All right? She can go wherever she want to go, unencumbered, right? But just get up out of here. Tear up out of here. That's it. Right? So another little bit of ammo for you there, James Lamb. You know what I'm saying? Just stuff for you to read up on. Read up on these things, and then you know what I'm saying. Let the Most High God reveal to you what your situation, how it pertains to your situation. See what I'm saying? But Ali Yeshai, you said you had a precept.
God,
You deal with Solomon.
Solomon, yes.
Who you got in? While you look for that, hold on. Let me know when you got it. While you look for that, let me give a quick shout out. What's this? IR Shalom, King. Shalom. All praises. Good to see you. All right. Let me know when you're ready, King.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Slakia. Let me pull that up. There we go. Go ahead. Bring it up.
This is 1 Kings 11 and verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites.
Mm-hmm.
Of the nations concerning which the Lord had said unto the children of Israel, you shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love.
Right. So look, you got to understand, break down what it's talking about. When it's naming all these nations, right? It's saying Pharaoh had women from the Egyptians, the daughters of Pharaoh, Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. Now, the problem is, if you go to Deuteronomy 7, right? There are specific nations where we are forbidden to take their daughters as wives or to give our daughters to their men as husbands. And it's nations, there's Canaanite nations, right? The Zidonians and the Hittites are Canaanites. See what I'm saying? So just want to give you that nuance, right? Solomon went off. It's not saying Solomon wasn't supposed to marry Egyptians, because if it was a sin to marry an Egyptian, then you got to take that up with Moses, right?
God.
You want to tell me Moses sent? You want to tell me that Moses' sons is bastards? Come on now. You get into dangerous territory. You want to start talking like that. You want to tell me it's forbidden to take a Moabite as a wife? What about Ruth? See what I'm saying? So there are specific nations, and matter of fact, get that Deuteronomy 7. Just to be thorough. All right. Start from the top. Deuteronomy 7 from the top.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor shew mercy unto them.
All right, go ahead.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
All right, go ahead.
For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
Right. So go back to where you were in First Kings. Now you see the context. See what I'm saying? Now that we know what happened with Solomon, Solomon's heart was turned away from the Most High God. Go ahead, read 4. 11
Yeah, I
and
was
4.
going to tell you guys. Let's get verse
Right.
4. This is 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 4. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father.
Right. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Papa, that boy crazy, man. That boy wild, Papa. There ain't no coming to America taking Hamite Canaanite wives. You feel me? we not taking them Canaanite wives, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? Hey, big shout out, Brother Robert Drummond. Shout out to you, King. All praises, right? Glad that you finding some edifications. You know what I'm saying? Some edification. All praises. Great to have you in here, King. The water, right? So yeah, you know that was a bit of a sidebar, but not much, because through the Spirit, I'm glad that the brother you know what I'm saying, brought up a question, because you see what I'm saying? It I'm gonna make it wrap into the story, because we brought up Solomon, right? I'm gonna bring it back into the point of Solomon, right? Right. And so James, like James said, he just needed information. All praises, King. You know what I'm saying? That's all we do is, you know what I'm saying? We share the word, right? Because I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what to do and how to do it. I'm just gonna show you how I was taught. Brother showed me the word. I went, studied, and read and did my due diligence. And hey, I'm here where I'm at, and I'm still growing every day. And even in exchange like this with another brother, that's growth on my end. Because you see how my other brother, like Soldier Ali Yashai, had a precept, Shaquad had a precept. So I'm learning while I'm teaching. You feel me, King? So it's much appreciated. Your feedback is much appreciated, right? Right. And just to reiterate, right, what we went into in Deuteronomy, I believe it was Deuteronomy 21, right? Yeah, Deuteronomy 21, like 10 through 14. This is talking about heathens. You know what I'm saying? With a heathen, if it's 4th and 20, you can punt. Right? If you don't like how the play look, hey, you can call the audible, right? Change personnel. You know, just to throw out a few just random analogies, right? But with the daughters of Zion, it's for life. Save fornication, adultery. That's it. See what I'm saying? And that's what it is, right? So I already I knew it. I was like, man, that name sounds familiar. And I knew it, Bayan. I had seen it somewhere. I think it was on, maybe we was in like a Google Meet, and it had your government name. But yeah. Bayan, Shalom, God. My dear beloved brother, right? Dear beloved brother Bayan. All praise, right? You know what I'm saying? So what I was gonna do, I'm gonna go back. You know what I'm saying? We had a little sidebar, but that's what it's about, right? I want to make sure that brother is edified. You know what I'm saying? That he can go back and kind of study on his own and get his own understanding, right? But the Most High, you know what I'm saying? Our job is to plant the seed. Most High yield the fruit, right? But I wanted to examine a little bit from the perspective of, you know, a King David and a King Solomon, where we got to get into this mentality of rulership, right? The original point was we following along the same lines of what Sarge was talking about with reparations or restoration, right? Just to reiterate, to kind of bring this point back. Like I said, if you got you an old school whip, right, and it's got some problems, it's got some age on it, it's done been beat down, it's been driven hard, right? The previous owner misused it. You're gonna have some problems with the transmission, you know what I'm saying? Some problems with the engine. You're gonna have to repair some things. But you can repair your whip just well enough to get it on the road and get to work. That's reparations, right? America can come out and say, okay, we're gonna give 150,000 to every Negro that's a descendant of the slave. Number one, that's goddamn chicken scratch. That don't amount to a hill of beans. See what I'm saying? How you gonna tell me you gonna cut me a check for 150,000 for what happened? See, so number one, it ain't enough. I'm gonna require my reparations in blood. See what I'm saying? According to the scripture, so you can't defile the land. See what I'm saying? If you defile the land with blood, the only way to cleanse it is with the blood of him that shed it. Number one. Number two, see what I'm saying? We did some general study, and I think Sarge brought up a number. Matter of fact, I'll bring that up. I'll bring that up. Let's do the research. Let's do this research together, right? Where is my window? Salakia. 1 second, Ali Shai. I'm gonna take over the window for a second.
Okay.
And let's just do some live research, right? Some live research here. Okay. Pull up the good old Google. The good old Google machine, right? Make sure y'all can see that. So let's say let's ask Google a question. How much would America owe for reparations to slaves? Google should figure it out from there. Okay. Let's just get some top line, right? We got ABC News, CNBC, right? Newsweek. Business Insider. They all seem to be in the ballpark 10 to 12 trillion, 151 million each. If you extrapolate that out to about 45 million people, you're in the same ballpark, right? 13 trillion. Let's just go from a businessman perspective, right? Because Esau's God is gold. This is how he thinks. Eliphaz. You see what I'm saying? Reparations for Black Americans will cost trillions of dollars, and it's time the U.S. government paid up. You know, this is the thing about Edomites that you got to understand how they operate, right? And let's see, Trevor Smith, right? He byline, Trevor Smith. Let's see who Trevor is, right? Oh, it's a brother. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense, right? This brother is writing from a perspective of someone who has gone through this. But, dear Trevor, I want to show you the real gospel, brother, because the reparations ain't worth a hill of beans. Like I said, let's do the math. All right. And it's time the U.S. government paid up. They're not going to pay up, and I'm going to show you why. Right? Let's get to it. Lock here. All right. Where is the article? All right. Black Americans are owed trillions of dollars by the U.S. government of the United States for wealth that was built off the backs of their ancestors during slavery, as well as the subsequent laws that prevented them from creating or attaining wealth throughout the housing and labor market. right? So, this is general, right? And we talked about this earlier, the 40 acres and a mule. You see what I'm saying? Let's just get a little sidebar on that. 40 acres and a mule, what's the value of that today? Right? The value of 40 acres and a mule. I mean, just think about it like this. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. But how much do you think? See, I live in Southern California. How much do you think 40 acres in downtown LA is worth? Think about that. Hell, I'll take the worst neighborhood in LA. Give me 40 acres in the worst neighborhood in LA. And the nigga is rich just off of 40 acres. See what I'm saying? You worth tens, if not hundreds of millions just for that property in the greater Los Angeles area. See what I'm saying? Now, right? Like Papa said, billions, bro. See what I'm saying? Now, a mule. Back in the day, the mule was the main beast of burden. So today you can equate a mule as maybe one of them big bulldozers. You know what I'm saying? One of them John Deeres that cost $150,000. You know what I'm saying? So if you got 40 acres and a big old bulldozer, you can put in work. You can make wealth. But what I'm saying is that to hell with your 40 acres and your little raggedy ass mule. I want liquid reparations for what you did. That's why I'm patiently waiting with the faith of the saints. Because your day gonna soon come. That's what I'm talking about. You feel me? You feel me? Right? And that's right. That's right, Papa. Just by nature, a mule is sterile. Right? Because what is a mule? A mule is a mix between a horse and a donkey. For y'all don't know. So when you crossbreed, the animal can't reproduce, right? Little insight, right? By my wise brother, Big Papa, right? Who else we got in here? What's good with you? Mr. Rossborough. What's good with you, Kate? I know you got a one-liner. It ain't gonna be normal if you don't come in here. Where is it? Oh, okay. Here we go. All skin folk ain't kin folk. My nigga, you already know. Right? Don't forget, we all look alike too, right? According to them, of course. And they won't make no distinction, you see what I'm saying, between let's say a brother, a dark-skinned brother is from East Africa, has nothing to do with Israelites. What do you always hear these crackers saying? Well, didn't Africans enslave other Africans? You big dummy. That's like saying, well, didn't Germans go to war with the French? You moron. It's two different nations. Didn't Britain and France go at it? Ain't they all Edomites, Europeans? Don't they live on the same continent? You moron, right? That's how dumb these Edomites are. Well, did Africans enslave other Africans? Nigga, your forefather owned mine, and you benefited from it. You lucky I ain't. Let me stop, right? But you know what I'm talking about, right? So you got to deal. This is how you got to deal with these Edomites. You got to understand their tactics. And you got to understand, even if they initiate the discussion of reparations, you got to laugh in their face, right? Right? That's a good point. That's a good point, Jeremiah. It's probably entire districts that's not 40 acres, like the Crenshaw district, right? How many blocks is that? I gotta ask my brother Lahat, man. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Especially the way the hoods go. You know what I'm saying? You go from the 20s to the hundreds, nigga, it's a problem. You go from, you know what I'm saying? You go from 59 to 60, nigga, that's a hard line. You feel me? So, you're right, Jeremiah. Like 40 acres would encompass an entire neighborhood in LA County, in the low income areas. Great point. See what I'm saying? Papa crazy. Look. He said, I could put a black pit bull and a black Rottweiler and a black poodle. That don't make them the same breed, right? All these designer dogs, Papa. That's how they think. What would that be called? What would you call that? A terrier doodle? Terrier Weiler doodle? That's how they think. That's how they think, right? You see what I'm saying? Papa said the Crenshaw disc is from the 40s to the 100s, right? So that's roughly in line 60 blocks, right? 60 blocks. An acre is several blocks, if I'm not mistaken, right? And we talking about 40 square acres. See what I'm saying? 40 square acres. So yeah, it's a neighborhood. 60 blocks, right? 6 blocks is about a mile. Yeah. So linearly, that would be, if it was just one row of houses, that would be about a 10-mile stretch. But let's imagine if it was squared off, right? So you got 3 miles wide and 3 miles deep. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's damn near the equivalent of the Crenshaw district. 3 miles wide, 3 miles deep. Ain't that crazy, man? Right. A square block might be right equivalent to an acre. You know what I'm saying? And 6 blocks, 6 linear blocks is a mile. You know what I'm saying? So look how little bit of, look how much little bit of space they put our people into. Talking about, oh, we was going to give you 40 acres. Now they just stick us on 40 acres. Ain't that about it? You know what I'm saying? Ain't that about a BI? BI. Right? Let's get back to what, you know what I'm saying, what this brother was talking about, right? Because, dear brother, what's the name again? Dear brother Trevor, right? Looks like an intelligent young man, right? He's writing for the Business Insider, right? He one of them Negroes, suit and tied up. He gonna find out. Sure, you know what I'm saying? Soon enough, it ain't worth a hill of beans, but all praises the brother. You know what I'm saying? He at least, his mind is awake. But we, through the most high spirit, I pray that this brother, you know what I'm saying, find his truth with that kind of energy right there that he got. You know what I'm saying? Because he writing for the Business Insider. He out there shooting bullets, but we, you know what I'm saying? We want to get them goddamn BBs out of his gun and give him some of these goddamn 7.62s, 223s, you know what I mean? Right? He talks about how much 40 acres in a month. We done talked about that, right? 40 acres would be buku money. And yeah, they gave reparations to Japanese Americans because they kept them in internment camps during World War II. They gave reparations, right, to even the Japanese for bombing them because the spoils of war, there's a agreement in these peace treaties they make, right? They gave Japan a bunch of electronics and money to start electronics companies. Next thing you know, Sony outselling Sylvania. How about that? So you think they was going to do that for us so that we can outdo them? Come on, man. Come on. See what I'm saying? What reparations will look like, right? His number is 12 trillion, right? 12 trillion. See what I'm saying? Giving each descendant 250 plus, right? And then a high estimate will be 18.6 trillion, breaking off damn near 400,000, right? Sound good, but nigga, if you try to tell me all my ancestors and all my pain is only worth 400,000, we got a problem. See what I'm saying? I want the whole 19 trillion, nigga. What? You feel me? But why is America not going to give us 19 trillion as a people? Huh? Why is America not going to give Black people as a nation 19 trillion? Let's do the math. I think the United States GDP is around 25 trillion. What is USA GDP? 23.3 trillion. That means the total gross domestic product for all of the United States is 23.3 trillion. Let's zoom in on this chart. You see? What was it in 1960? In 1960, it was less than 1 trillion. You see what I'm saying? In 1960, look at that, right? Now what is it? 23, right? And let's look in relation. Look at Japan. How come Japan been flat? You see what I'm saying? Japan flat because they lame. How come China? You know why China mirrors almost exactly the US GDP? You know why? Because they fill up Walmart with products. They fill up Target with products. How much stuff you think we trade with China? See what I'm saying? China sitting there mirroring us. It's crazy. And then try to make a move where you put some sanctions on China and niggas gonna have a fit because the shirts, the drawers in Walmart cost $25 a pack. And fuck around with China if you want to. You see this chart right here. It ain't no coincidence that their growth exactly mirrors the US growth. You see what I'm saying? So now you got 23.3 trillion total gross domestic product. I want that to Salakia. Did I even show that? Salakia. I didn't even show that. Or did I? Nope. Hold on. I'm tripping. Let me share this with you. They bugging out over here. All right. All right. Throw a 1 in the chat if you can see that chart. All right. We good? Gotcha. Right. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Now, this is the total U.S. gross domestic product, meaning their total worth in trade and assets. See what I'm saying? And look, in 1960, it was small as 1 trillion. But 1 trillion back then, of course, you know, inflation, right? Whatever they do with their fiat currency. Look at this explosion in the 90s and the 2000s. This has a lot to do with technology as well. You know, you got online sales and this and that. So we start selling globally, right? But look at Japan, flat, just like they women, right? But look here, you see this growth chart? It's the blue is US, green is China. China mirrors the United States gross domestic product because of, like brothers is talking about, the port of Los Angeles and the port of Long Beach is booked up back to back with ships from China, with products heading to Walmart, Target, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and the other. Amazon, half the stuff you get off of eBay and Amazon is from China. You feel me? I guarantee you go on social media right now, you're going to see China ads for cheap products from China. Guaranteed. So now, going back to the point, if on a high end, so no matter, this is what this brother is doing. Okay, these are different tiers, right? So including interest, he's saying the cost would be upwards of 35 trillion. The median would be around 18.6 trillion owed for reparations, just not to all of Israel, just to Judah. What? That's just Judah. What about Benjamin? What about Levi? What about Gad? What about Reuben, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun? You see what I'm saying? Naphtali. Come on now. I mean, just do the math, bro. Think about it. Okay, let's get back to these numbers. If the United States, USA GDP is currently 23 trillion, A distant second is China at 17.73 trillion. And a lowly third is Japan at just under 5 trillion. This is according to numbers from 2021. So it's probably, you could add a few percentage points. Let's just round off, say 17, 18, and 5. 17, let me do the math. Let me do the math. We got math wizards in there, and just call it out in the chat, right? We got some mathematicians in there, right? So let's just round it up. Let me get it back to where it need to be, right? Right here, there. Now, let's, for inflation, let's round up, because I do believe current GDP for the US is upwards of 25 trillion. So let's get around 25 plus 17 plus 5 equals, that's 47 trillion. Of the top 3 countries with the top 3 gross domestic product in the world, you looking at 47 trillion, and probably the rest of the nations in the entire world, GDP probably won't even add up to 10 trillion. Think about that. And probably India will be the next closest at probably 2 or 3 trillion. See what I'm saying? The rest probably not even touching a trillion. So do you actually think these Edomites is going to hand a bunch of niggas $20 trillion? Give a bunch of niggas $20 trillion of their money. So let's do the math. If they give us 20 trillion, that means they more broke than Japan and India. And now we just not even, I can't even say we, because that's just Judah. You see what I'm saying? Now, my family is Benjamin, but we are descendants of slaves, but we, you know what I'm saying? We came from the West Indies, so I'm Benjamin, but I guess in a technicality, you see what I'm saying? The white man gonna go to court and gonna try to argue all kind of stuff, man, is what I'm saying. So imagine about 45 million so-called Negroes in America all of a sudden own the most GDP in the whole world by far, by a multiple of damn near 2. You know what I'm saying? Do you think these crackers would do that? No. Why? Because we're going to own all the planes, all the boats, all the weapons, all the technology. Let me get all that, right? Sound good, right? It'll never happen, but it sound good. But I'm here to tell you it ain't enough. It ain't even enough. You know why? This why. Because all of them going to have to bring it to Israel. Every single one of them. Every nation. See what I'm saying? That's why I don't want reparations. I want restoration. See what I'm saying? Let's land this plane and let's get an understanding of what restoration would look like. Not reparation. I don't want your little measly 20 trillion. Because you're going to get all that taken and then some. You're going to get all that taken and then you're going to get destroyed. But you ain't the only one that's going to have to get up. You understand me? I want all your collaborators to get up too. Get down or lay down. See what I'm saying? Let's get back, you know what I'm saying, to a couple scriptures and just to demonstrate, you feel me? Because I was talking about Solomon, right? So let's get Ali Yeshai, if you can, Baba Kushah, just to give an example of how much of a baller Solomon was. Let me get 1 Kings 10 and start at 21 and read down to 23. Let me know when you get there. Ali Yeshai, you got to unmute, King.
God, what was the verse again?
Salaki. Salaki, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Verse.
let me get 1 Kings 10 and start at 21. We're going to read down to 23.
Okay. Okay, this is 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
And all King Solomon's drinking vessels were of gold.
Baller.
And
Nigga,
all the
hold on. I want y'all to imagine this. This brother drinking from gold, pure gold chalices. Balling. Probably had his pinky hanging off the chalice. You feel me? You undersmell me? Balling. Out of control. Right? Read.
And all the vessels of the house of the forest of Lebanon were of pure gold. None were of silver. It was nothing accounted of in the days of Solomon.
Hey, they say if you got it, you don't go in nowhere asking the price. You feel me? You just say, let me get that, let me get that, let me get that. That's the mentality we got to understand that how our forefathers lived. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, brothers think you rich if you got the black card. I got the black card, nigga. I can go buy a Lamborghini with this card. And you still owe the white man interest, fool. How about the mentality of, you know what? Every dealership in this motherfucker, let me get that. How about that? To start with. Go ahead, King.
Verse 22. For the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Hiram.
Yeah, so hold on. Hiram's navy from Tarshish, right? It's Tyre and Zidon. It's the northern African countries in the Mediterranean. They were expert mariners. You see what I'm saying? Expert mariners. They circumnavigated the waters back, forth, and through and through. That's why you got the Olmecs in Central America, right? They were there before Northern Kingdom went there. They were there. They were already familiar with that in the time of Solomon. Why? Because Solomon's dad, King David, had a brotherly agreement with Hiram's navy. And Hiram's navy did what the house of David commanded them to do. Gladly. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, King.
Once in 3 years came the navy.
Start that verse over.
Okay, 1 Kings 10 to 22. For the king had at sea a navy of Tarshish with the navy of Hiram.
Hiram, yeah.
Hiram. Once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish bringing gold and silver, ivory and apes and peacocks.
Yeah, finish out the next one. I'll make my point.
So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom.
He's balling. He had it, right? But go focus on 22. It said Hiram's navy once in every 3 years, right? Came back bringing gold, silver, ivory, right? And the likes. All you got to do to understand where they was going to get all these riches, because we all know where the Spaniards went to go get all their gold. North, Central, and South America, right? We know that if you go to go into the Apocrypha, you go to, what is it, 2nd Ezra 13 and 40, right? And we get the story of the Northern Kingdom going to ISRAELITE, and the journey took about 1.5 years. Do the math. If it take 1.5 years to get to ISRAELITE and 1.5 years back, that's 3 years. By the time Hiram's navy go over there, load the boat up with riches, and come back, that's every 3 years. So that's a little quick breakdown. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about? Hey, throw a 1 in the chat if y'all already knew that, because I know a lot of y'all scholars know that, but I don't want to give too many details if y'all already know what's up. See what I'm saying? But I'm gonna move on. If somebody want to know a little bit more about that, I can point to some specific scriptures, right? But other than that, I'm gonna move on, right? But we see how Solomon was balling. You understand? Now, we got to get that mentality of, I don't want to be so-called rich, right? Or rich for a black man. I want what I deserve. I want what's promised to me. You understand? I want what's promised to me. I don't want your crumbs. So I know I can't by force go and take what I know is rightfully mine, because the Most High said, go ye not up that hill until the whole nation got their mind right and the numbers is up that's serving the Most High God. Go ye not up that hill. What we need to do now is be fishers of men. Get this word out. And when brothers come into the fold, you got to build these brothers up. You gotta put sinew on them bones and flesh on them bones and continue to get air in them lungs so they can stand up and be an exceedingly strong army. You got to equip these men with the armor. Like if you go to Ephesians chapter 6, the full armor, the word, the truth, righteousness. See what I'm saying? And my personal motivation, number one, is the fear of the Most High God, because if I don't do what he said, it's going to be just as terrible as being a heathen. Maybe even more so because I know better, right? So I don't want that outcome. What I do want is rulership in the kingdom with Yahushua. That's what I want. I want to be in that number of saints that's called. You understand? So the only way to get there is to do this work, is to be diligent in this work. You see what I'm saying? You got to be diligent to secure your own election. I can't tell you how to do it or what to do. All I know is study these law, statutes, commandments, do them, have faith in the Most High God, faith in the Son Christ, and Lord willing, the Most High bears the fruit. You see what I'm saying? The Most High puts the oil in your lamp so that you can shine. You know what I'm talking about? Because Christians will say the word gospel, but do they know what gospel is? Do they have any idea what the gospel is? What is the good news? Well, we already know that, what is it, in Luke chapter 4 and 17, Christ quotes Isaiah 61. See what I'm saying? We know that. I don't want to go over that with y'all. There's too many scholars in here. Yeah, there's too many scholars in here to bother with that, right? We know in Luke chapter 4, starting at 17 down through a few verses, we know Christ is quoting Isaiah 61. The gospel, the good news, right? But let's go one chapter before Isaiah 61, Isaiah 60. And let's just read a little bit of what that entails. Because I don't think Christians, it's a reason why they don't go to the Old Testament, because they don't want to hear the good news, because it ain't good news for them heathens, right? And it ain't good news for brothers that's not following these law, statutes, and commandments. See what I'm saying? Faith without works is dead, my brother. Christ's own brother tell you that. So Ali Ashad, let me get Isaiah 60, start at the top. Start at the top with Isaiah 60.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60, from the top. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Now listen, we got to understand, Isaiah is prophesying. This is an eschatological prophecy, meaning an end time prophecy, a glorified Zion. See what I'm saying? He's talking about the end times, right? There's a lot of things that got to happen before this come to pass, but he's going to start breaking it down. Read.
Verse 3, and the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising.
Right? Like mosquitoes on a damn one of them, you know what I'm saying, bug lights, how the mosquitoes just, right? They going to be compelled to come to our light in that day. See what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 4, lift up thine eyes round about and see. All they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
Go ahead.
Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee.
Hold
The
on.
forces.
Hold on. The abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. What is the sea in this context? An ocean of people, all the nations, right? All the nations on the earth. The abundance of all of these nations shall be converted unto thee. Meaning, get that up, bring that here, and put it in my coffers. Fill my cupboards, fill my storage and my baskets with what you got. Thank you. Right? Go ahead.
The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
Right? Go ahead.
The multitude of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall shew forth the praises of the Lord.
Go ahead.
All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Nebaioth shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance of mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory.
Go ahead.
Who are these that fly as a cloud and as doves to their windows? Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first.
You see that again? Hold on. You see the ships of Tarshish, right? These expert mariners that already know how to bring us the money. You see how things work? Go ahead.
To bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Lord thy God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee.
Are y'all listening to what Isaiah is saying? You know what I'm saying? The whole world. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Queen of Sheba made a journey all the way to visit Solomon and brought a whole caravan of riches. Right? That's what's going to be happening. It's a list of all these nations. It's going to be coming from north, east, south, and west. Bring it here. And we'll issue it out how we feel like. See what I'm saying? We'll let you have a little plot over there, you know what I'm saying, and do what you need to do, but you need to bring that here. Because we got all of this right here. That's the mentality. Akim and Aqua. That's the mentality, Mashpaka, you need to have of what you desire. When it says above all nations, understand what that means. A nation of kings and priests serving the prince of the kings and priests. See what I'm saying? Not one of these authorities on the earth can even amount to a hill of beans compared to our Savior Yahushua. One of us will be as strong as David. And the body of us will be as God, because we will have the Son of Man ruling our nation, a glorified Israel. Matter of fact, a little sidebar, hold that, right? Go to a new tab where you got Deuteronomy 7 open. Give me Zechariah 12 and 8. Just to paint the picture, Akim, and I'm gonna land this plane. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna land this plane.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 12, verse 8.
Uh-huh.
In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Okay. Here's another prophet talking about in that day, the acceptable day of the Lord, right? Read.
And he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David.
the weakest amongst us shall be as David. You understand, David? He was a little brother. He wasn't tall in stature, but he grabbed lions and bears by the beard and smote them, smited them. He picked up his slingshot and hit Goliath between the eyes and dropped him. He was the Floyd Mayweather of battle, undefeated. Right? Read.
And the house of David shall be as God, as the angel of the Lord before them.
You understand what's going on here? The house of David, right, shall be as God and the angel of the Lord before them. See what I'm saying? You understand that the throne shall not the throne shall not depart from Judah. Yahweh shall gonna come back through the house through the lineage of David and reestablish this holy tabernacle, the house of David. What's the house of David? When David ruled, all of Israel lived harmoniously. We're gonna return to that, but in a justified state, because the most feeble amongst us is gonna be like David, and us together is gonna have the power of our King Yahweh Shai leading us. You understand? But that's it on that. I just wanted y'all to understand what I'm talking about when I'm go back to Isaiah 60, right? Where did you leave off at 9? Yeah, go ahead. Read 10. We're gonna read to 12 on this.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Look, we're gonna have them out there doing hard labor, and their kings, their presidents, their leaders, they're gonna come and say, "Good sir, what can I do for you?" Right? Go ahead.
Verse 11. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought.
Understand what he's reiterating here. The gates are gonna be open day and night, because these fools gonna be bringing the goods day and night. The forces of the Gentiles. Let me get all that. Let me get all them battleships. Let me get all them planes, all them damn rockets you lobbing all over the place. Let me get all of them AKs, everything. All of the treasuries, all the gold. Let me get all that. Can you understand that? Can you fathom that? Can you burn that mentality into your brain? Let me get all that. Like Papa said, hey, like a real G. What he said? Nigga, run that. Right? Not on no small scale, but on the biggest scale possible. I want y'all to think like that, Israel. I don't want you to fall for no foolishness about, oh, want my 40 acres and a mule. It's worth about 400,000 right now. Oh, I'll be rich. And like I was saying before, it's Edomites in America that'll piss off 400,000 like they sneezed. Gone. That ain't wealth. That ain't riches. You understand? We want it all because all is promised. And the only way we're going to get it back is if we get right with the Most High and do what's pleasing unto him. Until then, we're going to be under the boot. Right? Go ahead and finish off 12.
Verse 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Enough said. Right? Enough said, because it's not going to be a question. It's not going to be a question. When we do what we need to do, and the Most High God sees fit for that seventh trumpet to blow, and that seventh trumpet to sound, and Yahushua grabs his sickle and begins to harvest, you got to understand what's going to be going on. That's got to be motivation. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, Papa. Let's get right so that we can get up out of here. It's simple. It's real simple, man. Look, it's not rocket science, bro. And it's been on our spirits. You know what I'm saying? It's been on our spirits. Just think about something as simple as an old Negro spiritual, right? And the spirituals was written allegorically for a reason, for the same reason why Christ spoke in parables. Because if the spirit ain't on you, it just ain't meant for you to understand. The same reason why in the streets got this terminology that, you know what I'm saying, brothers might want to have a conversation about something that don't sound like about something for certain reasons. And if you get it, you get it. If you know, you know. You see what I'm saying? So look at an old Negro spiritual like swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. You think that brother wasn't in the spirit when he wrote that? Because I'm saying the same thing. I want them chariots to come get us up out of here, but I know the work that needs to be done. I'm being realistic about the work that needs to be done. And I'm passionate and I'm diligent about doing that work and convincing other brothers to do so. Going and planting the seeds, feeding the flock, gathering the flock, and building each other up. You understand what I'm saying? You feel me? Hey, but that's about all I got to say, man, because look, when I start to talking about these Edomites, sometimes I get beside myself. I have to get back in the spirit real quick because, hey, I look forward to that day. This is the patience and the faith of the saints. You see what I'm saying? That's right, Papa. There's a lot of fine tuning we got to do, a whole lot, because a lot of brothers is way off the mark. But look, the silver lining is I look at where I was 3-4 years ago and where I am now, and I see improvement. And then I look around me in terms of 3-4 years ago, the general awareness was way down here. Hey, people know now, but now you can't just be hearers, you got to be doers. You understand? We got to put in this work. You feel me? Look, at this time, any questions, comments from the chat? Now is your time. You understand what I'm saying? Hit me up. Let me know what's up. Let me know, you know what I'm saying, if you got any questions or if I left something out or if it's something, you know what I'm saying, that I brought up that you want to reiterate on. Now is your time. And Ali Yashai, while we waiting on the chat out, any last words, any thoughts? You know what I'm saying? Give us any, holler at us. Let me know what's up, King.
I just want to, give a shout out to Sicari Long Beach, Sicari Riverside, and, all our brothers all over the nation. Man, you keep pushing, keep doing the work for the Most High, and, Most High willing, we'll be out here soon. And I want to give also a shout out to Sicari Varsity. Hey, man, get in class with Deacon.
Right?
Man. Yeah.
Right? Hey, like Papa said, hey, shout out to all the Akim across the nation, across the world, right? We got Sicari in the Netherlands, Sicari in Puerto Rico. Hey, I think we're going to start having some Sicari in Africa, man. Lord willing, right?
Yeah,
got Sicari Sin City.
Sicari Sin City, that's right.
Big Papa, right? You feel me? You see what I'm saying? So look, man, all praises, right? you know, that's all it takes, man. It's for brothers to be diligent and keep that fire lit, and look, keep each other accountable, right? Hold each other accountable, but also bear each other's burdens. You see what I'm saying? We got to get into these scriptures, understand what's required of us, and do the most. Do the most. Don't just get by. Do the most. You feel me? So with that, I'm gonna land the plane. We are right at hour and 53. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here. But look, please, 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 right? Like the video, number one, share it, tell your folks about it. And hey, jump in the comments and leave us a couple comments, right? All these things help us get feedback, and it also helps us with the YouTube algorithm. See what I'm saying? Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, leave comments. You know, that's the number one ask. And number two, if it's on your heart, right? If you want to help support the ministry, see what I'm saying? Right there on the bottom, you know what I mean? $ Bazak, right? That goes to Sergeant Bazak's Cash App that directly benefits the camp in terms of gas money, traveling money, you know what I'm saying? Water during camp, signage, every little bit helps. You know what I'm saying? Every little bit helps. There's also super chat. We appreciate the super chat. And if you're watching and it's not live, we got the super thanks. See what I'm saying? But other than that, any questions, leave it in the comments. If you want to get in touch with us, you see the email down there, lbcsicari@gmail.com. You feel me? And with that, I'm going to say, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, right? And Kwam Yashra.
Kwame Yashua. Shalom, Kings.
Shalom.